Welcome to another St. John Norana Midweek message. I grew up in a Norwegian Lutheran Pietist congregation. And there are really wonderful things about the Pietist tradition, the Pietist movement. The Norwegian Pietists were reacting to a formalization of the church. The church had become a part of the machinery of the state of Norway. And it was not a situation where people really felt a close connection to a lived faith, but rather a lot of people just felt like it was part of the furniture of being a good citizen. The Pietists called for a living and active faith that would be integrated into all aspects of our lives. The powerful force of Pietism was that it got people to consider their faith to be important, and that their lives were not just partially about faith and partially about all the other things in life, but that it's all one piece. There is a real dark side to Pietism. It can be very judgmental towards ourselves and towards others. Pietism can be a way of saying, I have the answer, I know what's right, you better listen to me. Pietism can be narrow and harsh and unloving, and it can fail to accept those whom we see as outside our understanding. But we don't need to stay in that dark side. We can learn to accept one another and find out that we really don't have all the answers. We may have God's love and acceptance, and that is a true, reliable promise. But if we think we have all the answers, that is an arrogance that says, I know the mind of God. That means, therefore, that I am as big as God. Of course, that is wrong. There is a beauty to the Pietism that produced crusades and acceptance of Christ and an understanding of Christianity that is passionate, that is filled with fire, that has us excited about our faith. It is exciting to be in a crusade with music that swells the heart and that fires up passion. But it's a little risky to make decisions in the moment of passion and in the moment of excitement and pumped up show atmosphere. And that's very easily what it can be, and it is what it was engineered to be in a certain stream of Christianity. This is an example of healthy Pietism. This is a well-used Bible. It belonged to Margaret Young, and it was given to her on May 15th of 1937, who became later Margaret Yeo. Presented by Reverend J. Moore here in Strasbourg, and it's got notes in it, and there are marks from reading and applying the scriptures to life. Marg applied her faith in her whole life. This book, this Bible, accompanied her to the end of her days. Her life was connected to her faith, and her faith was what drove her life. This is what we want our lives to look like. In one explanation or illustration, a cross-shaped life. Our whole life is shaped by the vertical connection between ourselves and God, and the horizontal connection between ourselves as community all around us. the people in our lives. That's a healthy pietism. A piety that applies to life in all of its complexity, all of its confusion, and all of its wonder. Our lives are one piece. There are many aspects, but it's one life as we live in the one who made us and gave the life to us. We are one in Christ. And that doesn't mean we're all the same. It means we have a glorious diversity and a beautiful and precious difference in so many ways. And we hold those things in tension. And we enjoy one another. Let's integrate our lives as best we can as people who live in contradiction and who experience the contradiction of life being complex, beautiful, and confusing. And that we can seek answers and seek reconciliation with one another and seek to understand as much as we can in a world that is filled with things that really have no explanation, but simply must be lived out as best we can. Let us live faithfully. Let us experience the confusion. And let us accept the contradictions that fill so much of our lives and be willing to move on in faith, not having the answers to everything, but having many good questions and maybe finding some useful tools for navigating the complexity and confusion of this confusing and wonderful life.